So I ordered a new intake for this thing because I had some backfiring issues, so I thought it would be a leaky intake, so I got my intake off, which is about like an act of Congress. It's terrible to get this thing off. You gotta take off the fuel tank and all sorts of different, you gotta take about the whole bike apart, well, short of pulling the motor. But man, this intake looks great. I don't see any cracks or anything in it. It looks great. The new intake that I got for it, that I bought online, it must be for 100-inch or something. It doesn't have the same bolt pattern. And a couple other things I want to show you too, if I can get in here. I want to show you how, yeah, it might not be too easy to see. Let me move the camera around over here. But I need a flashlight. But this inside of here, it looks phenomenal. It looks beautiful. Now this new one that I got, it's got casting flash on here. You can't really see it very well at all because of the lighting. There you can see it. So I'm not too impressed with this thing. Not only that, but it doesn't fit anyway. Where this old one, I mean, it is smooth as a baby's butt in there. It looks, it's pretty nice. Like I said, I don't see any cracks or anything in this thing that would make me have to replace this thing. It looked phenomenal. So I'm gonna put the old one back in. Not only that, but just because the old one, the bolt pattern is not the same either. So when I line up two holes, the other two holes don't line up at all. So the O-ring doesn't fit. The O-ring is a totally different size. I don't have an O-ring anyway because this is a different. So this must be for a 100-inch motor or something like that. I don't know. I'll have to look it up. But this thing looks great. I'm gonna put it back in, and we're gonna keep on rocking and rolling. Alrighty. So today we're gonna put the exhaust back on this thing. I got new gaskets for the exhaust. When your exhaust backfires on deceleration, they say it's usually because of an exhaust leak, which is a lot of times it's these gaskets. Just a copper ring basically is all it is. It feels like it's hollow though, it's pretty lightweight. Or it's the rubber boots on your intake is leaking. Well, I took this off, which by the way, it's a mother to get this off, and it's even worse to put it back on. Put the fuel injector throttle bodies back in there. Got them in there. Hopefully it didn't tear either O-ring. There's an O-ring on top, there's an O-ring on the bottom. Hopefully it didn't tear either one. We'll find out if it backfires. They all look good. The boots look fantastic. I ordered a new intake boot for the thing, but it doesn't fit. It's the wrong bolt pattern. I don't know if it's for a 100-inch motor or what the scoop is. It didn't fit. But when I took this thing off, man, this thing looked brand new. It didn't have any cracks in it, no weather checking, nothing. So I put the boot back on there because I didn't have the right one to replace it anyway. And so I still got that all put back together. I had to loosen up the bolts on the motor and drop the motor just a little bit, maybe 20 or 30 thousandths of an inch, just to be able to slide the throttle bodies back in there. And then once I got, even then, I still had to reach in there with picks and flat blade screwdrivers and try to make sure that as I slid that in there that I didn't peel up any of the O-rings. And I greased it with white lithium grease too as well, try to get the slide in there. Everything I could think of to preventatively tear one of those O-rings. Anyway, got that back on, got the motor lifted back up, bolted back in, all tightened back up again. Now I'm gonna put the exhaust on, make sure I put my new gaskets in, and then we also got to pull the oil filter because the cross member that goes underneath, or the cross pipe that goes to the other side, that oil filter is right smack dab in the way. So you got to pull the oil filter to put the exhaust back on. and this floorboard too, as well, as you can tell. And as you can see, I got this bike really stripped down. I've never had it taken apart this far. I even taken the fuel tank off this side. I've never done that before. And that was to help get the fuel injector throttle bodies out of there. Anyway, we'll throw this on time lapse, and we'll go ahead and throw the pipes back on. So now that I've got the exhaust on, this genius just figured out that I might have to take the exhaust back off because I got to put my cover on here first. That's the original reason for taking the exhaust off, was I put an underdrive pulley on here, and the secondary reason was to put new gaskets on here. Well, I got the new gaskets on, I forgot to put my pulley cover on. So take the exhaust back off.